And good morning, folks. Welcome to Saturday morning training for new distributors. My name is Fred Holmes. I'm an independent distributor with ZJ International. And today I'm really excited about what we're going to do. We've got today and tomorrow are the last 2 days for 2017. Everybody is about the process of planning their New Year's celebration. There's some people that are going to be crazy enough to freeze to death in Times Square. All packed together like sardines so they can watch the ball come down. I will be watching that at home with Mom. We're going to get the East Coast feed at 9 p.m. Pacific time. We'll watch the ball drop. We'll say Happy New Year's and then off to bed. That's my wild New Year's celebration. But this is a particularly important time because today I want to talk a little bit about how to set up your 2018 game plan. For those of you that maybe this is your first opportunity to be part of a new distributor training, let me do a couple things for you real quick. It's important for you to be able to have some basic knowledge, some foundational skill sets, the things that you're going to want to have kind of under your belt as you make the decision to launch your ZJ business. So if you've just started with us, I'm going to encourage you to do a couple of things, okay? I'm going to encourage you to plug into your upline. As I look at the group of people that are attending right now, I see a couple of our companies, top leaders. First one I spotted was Reed Nelson. There's a number of people that are part of your upline support team that provide a lot of resources for their new distributors. And so plug into your upline, find out who your upline leaders are, who are the platinums, the emeralds, the diamonds, and so on that are here waiting to help you build your business, okay? You can do that through your sponsor can tell you. You can find your upline support team in your back office under your account information. Call distributor support and they will put you in touch with those people. So plug in. Many of you are part of my organization, and whether you are part of my organization or you're not, it's kind of immaterial to me. Today I understand that the greatest thing I can do for all distributors in ZJ International is to share some of the information and things that I've learned over the years, and it's going to benefit all of us. If the company grows, then we all grow. And so I encourage you, plug into me. There's a number of things you can do. Go to my YouTube channel. It's www.youtube.com/FredHolmesZJ. Now, subscribe to the channel. You're going to be able to find a lot of information on there, presentations, information, training, and so on that I've done over this past year. There's going to be a playlist on that YouTube channel. You'll see a link where you can do playlists. There's only one. That playlist is for new distributors. There's 4 little videos on there. I encourage you, if you've not had a chance to see that, go look at those videos, okay? The first one is 30 minutes long. It's the information new distributor training, what we do and how we do it. That was taught to me over 30 years ago. It's what helped me transition from being a cross-country truck driver to becoming a, now multiple 7-figure income earner in this profession of home-based business network marketing. There's 3 more little videos, about 8 to 10 minutes long each on the fundamentals, how to create a prospect list, how to follow the system for successful prospecting, the 90-day game plan, how to set up momentum in your business and create a story. Those kinds of things, that was what was delivered to me in the early days, 30 plus years ago, which allowed me to be able to build a business and achieve, well, I was about to say, the goals that I have, but actually go well beyond those goals. I mean, it's been phenomenal, the changes that have taken place over these last 3 decades in this profession. So plug into that. Many of you will want to plug into, my newsletter. I send out, weekly email with, up-to-date information, the events that are going on. You can go to my personal website. It's fredholmes.com. Click on contact. in the upper wherever it is, contact information. You'll see all of my contact information there, okay? And I encourage you, go ahead and reach out to me personally. I'd love to be able to connect with you. You'll see my home phone, my cell phone, my email, my favorite color, everything you need to know is there. Scroll to the bottom of that page, and you'll see a place where you can enroll in my newsletter. That's just my team email list. So do that. Get on that list. I know most of the people, of course, that on that list are part of my personal organization, but there's others that aren't, and that's fine. I want to encourage you to be part of what I'm sharing with the Zija community. And there's other ways to connect. Go to Facebook. Okay, I got 2 profiles there. I've got a personal profile. It's Fred W. Holmes. Friend me. I'll friend you back. Go to my business profile. It's Fred Holmes Zija. Like the business page. If you do that, then a lot of the information that I'm pushing out into the social media environment will be there for you. So there's a number of ways that you can plug into me, and I encourage you to do that with all of your actively engaged upline. So brand new people, a couple little things for your checklist. Get those little videos under your belt. Get plugged into your upline, and then today, I took a little bit of time because I'm not going to go through all of that today. Today's special. We got like 2 days left for the year, and what occurred to me, and I've had conversations with a few different teams that I'm working with directly right now. I believe I saw Tanya Valdez in here. In particular, she's one of the new team members, and I'm working with her team. I see Sharon. Hey, Sharon, welcome. Good to see you. This today is something that's been prompted by about the last, I'd say 2 weeks, as I've been, fielding questions from different organizations I'm working with directly to maybe help you set up to know the kinds of things that I had the advantage to know when I first started in Zija. See, I've just completed my 10th year anniversary with Zija. They will join in. Really engaged now. Oh, very, very good. I'm glad to hear that. The only problem is that the person that just messaged me is Samsung SMG 95 something something. Okay, Diana, all you got to do is learn how to put your name in there. Okay, that's just what we need to do. Okay, so I wanted to share a little bit of what happened to me and help you understand who today's training is for. And I'm going to go through this pretty briskly because I want to be able to use a good portion of our time this morning for question and answer. So have your questions, write them down. You're going to put them in the little chat box, and I'll do my very best to respond to all questions. Now, who is this training for? Okay, it's for every single one of you that has made a decision, regardless of where you're at. You may be a brand new distributor. You may be a distributor that's been around for a while and love the products, got a few customers, but maybe you've never really gotten serious about, the financial end of the business. You may be a distributor that's been around for a number of years. And what you're looking for, you're recognizing what I've recognized. I just had this conversation with one of our top diamond leaders yesterday. We are today going into 2018 as a company with our corporate organization, with our field leadership distributor organization, our product offerings, if every aspect of what this business of Zija International is all about, we are better positioned for incredible growth this upcoming year. We're better positioned than I believe we've been in the last 3 or 4 years. Okay, and that should be extremely exciting for those of you that have been around for a while. And maybe you're one of those people that is looking for a way to capitalize on the golden, time, that small section of time within the growth of this company where the significant financial results can be obtained. See, timing is everything in everything. Okay, and right now, I had a disadvantage when I joined Zija and I launched my business at the beginning of 2008. I had a disadvantage in that the company had zero momentum. I mean, they were flat as a pancake. And it was a lot of hard work that first couple of years. By the time I started my 4th year, the company was entering into its first little growth spurt. And because I'd put into place the things that needed to be put into place, I had phenomenal results. I mean, literally the 4th year with Zija was almost the same level of income, like within about 10–12% of the income of the first 3 years combined. That was because of the timing with Zija. We went through another growth spurt a couple of years ago. That made an incredible difference in so many people's lives. Well, today, Zija's entering into this next stage of development. This is going to eclipse anything we've seen. And so for those of you maybe have been around for a while, part of what I wanted to do today was to give you the same opportunities that I had when I first started. And so that's who this is for. Brand new person, somebody's been around for a while and wants to get serious. Maybe somebody's been around for a long time, wants to get back to where you were when you hit the peak of your personal accomplishments in Zija. Now, let me tell you who this is not for, and I'm going to be straight up front with you. This is not for somebody who is happy with the way 2017 ended up, happy with your health, happy with your financial situation, happy with your time freedom. If you are 100% satisfied and excited about your life the way it is, this isn't for you, okay? Why bother? Keep doing what you're doing. If that's not the case, if you are looking for increase in income, time freedom, happiness in your life, then this is for you. But let me go back one more time. It's not for you. Today's training is not for you if you are not willing to do the deal, willing to make commitments to yourself and your family for change, if you're not willing to put in the activity necessary to create that change. We all, we're all big boys and girls right now, and we got to pull up our big boy pants and realize that if things are going to change, it's going to be up to us to make those changes. So hopefully I've kind of established a foundation. Let me go through my little outline for you, and then I want to get into some questions and answers. Okay, now for me, this was the greatest advantage I had starting Zija. It wasn't what most people think. Okay, I didn't have a lot of time. I didn't have tons of contacts. I didn't have 10,000 people from my previous multi-level to bring over. I didn't have great timing with Zija. There was a lot of things that weren't happening there. What I did have was a burning desire to be part of a Ken Brailsford company in the making. And when I launched my business in 2008, I'd just come off of 6 years of being a stay-at-home grandpa. Very much a cloistered life. I didn't have a large circle of immediate influence, that sort of thing. I started the beginning of the year flat-footed. And for those of you who've been part of the Saturday morning training for the last 90 days, one of my primary focus has been use the last 90 days of 2017 to set up momentum in 2018. I started flat-footed. I didn't have anything. I didn't have any customers, didn't have any distributors, I didn't have a story. And so for me, that was the toughest part that first year, because I had to grind it out with no leverage and no advantage. But I knew what to do, the correct activities. And I'm sharing that with you because there's some of you just starting right now, or you've missed the last 90 days and you didn't hear or jump on the bandwagon of setting up the momentum for 2018. I had to grind it out. And the fact of the matter is, it was harder that first year because I didn't have anything to work with. But by the end of the first year, when I went into the second year, I had some momentum. I just did the same thing, correct activities, but I had the year planned out. And that's what I want to talk about. So hopefully you got your journal out. I was looking at it, was hidden by my radio. Get your journal out, write down these items. Okay, number one, you want a 2018 game plan? You have to start with the end in mind. Set some goals down and put them on paper. Okay, date it right now. This is my goals for 2018. Don't get hung up with, well, I don't know how to set goals, blah, blah, blah. I'm not the guy that does, goal setting training. Dennis Estes has done he does an excellent goal setting training. I'm going to see about maybe having him join us here early in the year to do that on a new distributor training. But I keep it real simple, okay? Imagine what could happen if you could change something about your life. What is your health, where you look, where you feel, financial situation. Start setting some goals. Make some decisions as to what you want. Start with the end in mind. Don't be that person that says, well, let me dabble with it a little bit and see how Zija goes. And if it really takes off, then I'll put some time into it. Folks, pretty much anything that you can imagine can be accomplished financially and health-wise through Zija International. So set some goals. Set goals that are meaningful. Set something that if you could achieve this 12 months from now, on the 30th of December of 2008, you say, I want to create this kind of level of income, achieve this, changes in my lifestyle. And if you could do that, it would be meaningful enough to keep you on a daily method of operation, spending, 30, 60, 90 minutes a day, every single day, doing the deal. Consistency of effort combined with persistency overcomes every single obstacle there is to success. I mean, it's just the way it is, and it works particularly well in Zija. And so set some goals, write them down. Make them meaningful. Once you've set those goals in place, then we have to establish the game plan, the activities. Goals first, activities next. So first of all, take the time to put those goals down. Write them down, put them someplace where you're going to find them again tomorrow and the next day and the next day, and be consistently feeding your subconscious with the concept of I will be earning X amount of money per month in my Zija business by the end of 2018. I will have this, vacation for my family by the end of 2018. I will have, the home I want to live in or the car I want to drive or whatever. Okay, write it down. Now, once you've done that and you're committed to it, we need to set up the calendar. This is really important. You got to work this business like a real business. Every business out there has ebbs and flows in their, the seasons of the year in terms of their sales volume and that sort of thing. And the same thing happens in Zija, in the network marketing profession. And so if you are committed to those goals, and that's the key. One of my favorite little sayings, it's easy to talk about becoming successful financially and having time freedom and being able to do all the things that you want to do. Everybody wants to go to heaven, okay? Nobody wants to die. See, you got to be committed, all right? When you make those goals, commit to the goal. Now, here's a good way to find out how serious you are. You ready for this? October 3rd through the 6th. Of this upcoming year is the Zija International Annual Convention in Florida. Okay, the convention tickets just prior to the convention, if you try and get a ticket in September or so of next year, they're going to be about $250. Right now, through the end of the year, that means today and tomorrow, the pre-order of those tickets for you to attend the convention is $99. I mean, it is insignificant cost compared to the value you will receive from being part of that event. Now, I already bought my ticket, okay? Partially just because I'm real frugal. I mean, why spend more money than you got to? But because it's part of the deal, okay? I already know what I will be doing October 3rd through the 6th. Now, some people are going to say, well, Fred, I don't know what's happening in October. I don't know if I can commit to going. I don't know if I can get the time off. I don't know what what my husband or my wife's going to be doing. I don't know what the kid. Folks, here's how you can decide whether or not you're going to do the deal. Instead of wondering, whether or not you can go to Florida October the 3rd through the 6th to be part of that convention, because you don't know what's going on. Make that what's going on. Put it in your calendar, buy your ticket, get it done before, close of business tomorrow. And now you already know what you're doing on October 3rd through the 6th. So when something comes up, when the boss, when you're setting your vacation time or whatever, you already know what's happening. Okay, these are the kinds of things, the mindset that people that are going to achieve true success in this upcoming year, they're going to already be doing. Now, next, let's set up the calendar. The multi-level calendar works really good if you do 90-day game plans. 90-day game plans, the first quarter, January 1 through March 31. Okay, that is a great time frame to work with, because it's hard to focus on an entire year of activity. But if you can break it down into 4 quarters of activity, that'll be extremely helpful. Now, you have some long-term goals. Understand what you're going to need to accomplish those. And so, for instance, let's say your goal is to become a gold distributor. If you look at the compensation plan, it'll tell you exactly what you need to do to be able to hit that goal. As a gold distributor, what are the advantages of being a gold distributor? Well, first of all, you're going to be making a pretty good part-time income. Okay, frankly, you're going to be making a part-time income that half of this country lives off of. Okay, that's kind of a sad statement, but that's the way it is. As a fully qualified gold distributor, you'll be able to participate in the lifestyle bonus, what we call the Mercedes-Benz program right now. And so you'll be able to have some very unique, tangible rewards for the efforts over the next 365 days. Now, to become a gold, and I'm just going to use this as an example, you can apply this to whatever rank you want, whether it's, white gold, platinum, emerald, diamond, what have you. The compensation plan tells you to be a gold distributor, you're going to need to have 2 personal enrollment tree legs with a Builder 500 within it. So the first thing that tells you is you're going to have to create an environment where you have at least 2 leaders somewhere within your organization in separate personal enrollment tree legs. You're going to need to have 4,000 in volume in each of your 2 legs on a weekly basis to be able to achieve that goal. Now, how do you pencil that out? If you can create 2 silver distributors, qualified regular silver distributors, 1 in your left leg and 1 in your right leg. There'll be personal enrollment tree distributors. They'll be in 2 separate personal enrollment trees, as well as 2 separate genealogy legs. If your focus is in empowering people to achieve their goals and look for the ones that want to have this, the big difference between those that dream about it, hope for it, versus the ones that are actually going to go out and do it. Okay, now, 2 silver distributors. To be a silver distributor, they're going to have 2,500 PV in each of their 2 legs. 2,500 in PV in 2 legs, flowing up to that individual distributor's 5,000 PV for you. If you simply develop 2 silver distributors, you will be a full-time gold distributor. And so now you're starting to understand the nature of our business. It's not about what you're going to do. It's about what you're doing to empower others. You take that silver distributor, you help them create 2 bronze distributors in each, a bronze distributor in each of their 2 legs that will automatically qualify them. If you take those bronze distributors and help each one of them develop 2 Builder 1000s, people that are consistently qualifying as a Builder 1000, that'll make them a bronze. Those bronzes create the silvers create your gold. Okay, so that's the way my brain was thinking. But in the beginning, launching day 1, January 1, or actually let's call it January 2, because January 1 is a great day to put the plan together, put the finishing touches on it. It was all about correct activities. And so this is something that each one of us have to be willing to make that commitment to doing the doing part, right? The work part. Establishing a daily method of operation. If you're taking notes, that needs to be in there as one of the most important activities that you can do over the next 48 hours preparing for the launch of the year. Get good at establishing your daily method of operation, the correct activities. Now, one of the things that I always did is I always monitored my numbers. Okay, this is part of that maturity process, part of that, taking responsibility for the outcome. Okay, you are not responsible for setting up the corporate infrastructure. You're not responsible for the development of the products, the maintenance of the manufacturing facility, the distribution facilities, payroll. All that's done by corporate. Okay, all we do in the field as distributors is we share the product, we share our income opportunity, and we teach others to do the same. That's it. Now, what's cool about that is that with just those 3 activities, we can create an environment where there is literally no cap on the income that we can achieve, and we can do this in a way where it does not have to make a major disruption in our lifestyle. So for those of you that have a job right now, keep the job. Got to have money coming in, right? But you can build a business and work on a part-time basis as you create your fortune. For those of you that, the stay-at-home mom, the retired person, you may not be able to put in a 40-hour week into your Zija business. That's fine. I don't think I've ever put in a 40-hour week in my Zija business, ever. You can do this more effectively an hour or 2 a day than if you were trying to do 8 hours a day. Okay, I'm just going to tell you, if you get good at that part, the correct activities, monitor your numbers. How many people did I speak to about the product? How many people did I speak to about the opportunity? And how many people did I help learn the same thing? By definition, you're going to need to know that stuff. That's why those little training videos are on my playlist on my YouTube channel. Now, set up your calendar. Make sure you're committed to the convention. Monitor your numbers. This is part of what Jim Rohn calls celebrate or fix. This was my superpower when I started with Zija, was my ability to be consistent on a daily basis with correct activities and do it over and over and over and over again. So set up your day before you start. Okay, determine how, who are you going to talk to about the product, who are you going to talk to about the opportunity, who are you going to be following up on from the previous day or 2 that you did that initial introduction, who are the team members that you're going to be latching on to, working with them. Set up those activities for the day before. Work your plan that day. At the end of the day, evaluate your numbers. This is not the time to fool yourself or kid yourself that you're doing a good job, because nobody cares what you think about how you're doing. Your family only cares if you fulfill on the promises you've made to them. Okay, that's the only thing that matters. So be mature about it. Evaluate your numbers. If you're falling down in a certain area, then get up the next morning and redouble your efforts in that area. Be honest with yourself, and here's what's the most exciting thing. Everything you need to create whatever you desire for 2018 is already available to you, unlike when I started. Okay, we've got a multitude of training of videos and resources out there. We have a complete agenda of presentations. Pat Anderson and myself, we made this commitment here in the final quarter of the year to establish this process. You have health talks with Pat on Wednesday for product focused presentations, biz talks with me on Thursday for business or opportunity presentations. You have Saturday morning new distributor trainings. We have live events. There's going to be regional events and so on. These are the kinds of things that you need to be focused on And here's the most exciting thing, and then I'm going to open up for questions. If you put that together, okay, start with the goals, okay, put them in writing, make them meaningful to you, something that if you could achieve that, it would be the justification to put in the effort every day over the next, 12 months. Make sure you're armed with the knowledge. Brand new people, get through the little training videos, okay? Plug into your upline. Don't try and do this by yourself, okay? When I started in Zija, one of the advantages I had, I've already done this before, okay? I mean, I'd already retired from the industry. I didn't need to learn how to do this. Many of you know David Moses is my personal sponsor. And I told David the only thing I needed from David was access. When the time came that I needed a story, I wanted him to be there, and he committed to doing that. David didn't have to call me up in the morning and say, Fred, did you put some names down on a piece of paper? Fred, do you know the system? Fred, do you have some tools available to send out for the presentation? Fred, did you set up a follow-up call? So he didn't have to do any of that stuff, okay? All he had to do was be there when I had somebody to share the story with, because I knew I needed somebody else to do it, somebody besides me. So don't do this by yourself. Get those, that knowledge underneath your belt. Then plan out your calendar, set it up into 4, quarters. And the exciting thing is when you break down those goals, let's say your goal is to become a gold. Well, make your first 90 days a portion of that. To line up 2 people, you're going to have to go through a number of people, but to line up 2 people that are as serious as you are. If you can get those 2 people in place, help them to achieve some rank, okay? Get them to be consistent builder. Get them to builder 500. Maybe get them to bronze. If you do that in the first quarter, then you've got something to parlay into the second quarter, and then you can advance one more notch towards your goal of gold. And then in the third quarter, get a little bit closer. And as we go through the year, I'm going to start talking specifically within those 90-day time frames, activities that'll be more meaningful during that season of the year. But folks, if you just are consistent with this, here's how the numbers work. Whatever you earn in your first quarter, in that first 90 days, you can expect to double that income in the last 90 days. If you make, $1,000 over the first 90 days, you can expect to make $2,000 or more in the last 90 days. And I'll illustrate this with an example. When I started in Zija, I was consistent daily method operation, 4 90-day game plans back to back. The fourth quarter of 2008, from October through December, my income was literally half of the entire year's income. The first 90 days weren't that spectacular. Second 90 days, a little bit better, not that big a deal. Third 90 days, better, not that big a deal. But I created enough momentum over those 90 days. We went into convention in October, had a couple new products, came out. I stayed hammering the deal, doing the deal through the end of the year. Half of the first year's income came in the last 90 days of 2008. If you understand the power of being consistent on a daily basis, doing those correct activities, don't be hot one week, cold the next. Don't, fire it up on Monday and then forget to do anything on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. It is better, this is just the way it is, folks. It's better to put in 1 hour a day, every day, than to put in 10 or 12 hours on Saturday. You will get more results. And you would think that if it's just work, 10 hours on Saturdays got to be better than, 1 hour a day for, 6 or 7 days out of the week. It isn't. But the power of that consistency can set up the end of 2018 to be huge for you. And then, folks, do this one more time. Get through 2018. Establish some momentum. If you then go and do the same thing the following year, let me tell you what happened to me. Started 2008 flat-footed, didn't have any momentum. What I lacked in all of the things that help you do well, I made up for in consistency of effort, correct activity. Share the product, share the opportunity, teach others, do the same. When I hit 2009, I had momentum in my business. I did the same thing. I laid out, the calendar for 4 months or for 4 periods, made some goals on where I wanted to be, broke them down to what I needed to do in that first quarter to achieve that goal, second quarter to achieve, continue moving towards that goal. By the end of the second year, my income was 5 times the first year. 5 times. That's the advantage you get if you have some momentum. So hopefully that has helped a little bit, giving you, kind of the focus that I have. I'm already in the process of doing, I'm going to put the finishing touches on over the next couple of days, setting my goal for the next pin rank advancement, for the income level. And the way I define that is how many new people am I going to have to develop? First, you got to find them. Then you got to find the ones that really want it. And then you got to help them achieve their goals. At this stage of the game, I'm looking at developing 3 new personal enrollment tree legs with individuals within those legs that will achieve, at least a platinum or emerald level over the next 12 months. Okay, that's what I'm going to need to do. But in the process, every single one of you that's already part of the organization, it's going to be a requirement on my part to support your efforts in achieving those goals. So I'm going to put a wrap on what I wanted to talk about. Let's go and talk about what you want to talk about. Should be a chat window that you should be able to see. If you have questions, we are registered and have our room. Very, very good. Oh, I got registered. I didn't even think about getting the room. I better get a room right away too. Thank you. I appreciate you, Mary Lou. Let's see. I have mine. So do several of my team members. Won't miss this event. Good for you. Let's see. Love it. And want to share this with my team. Very inspirational, doable with the 2018. Good. I appreciate that. Explain what momentum for new people. Explain momentum for new people. All right. Momentum is kind of an interesting, and thank you for that question, Sharon. When we talk about momentum in anything, like in sports, you can tell the team with momentum. As soon as a team, makes a goal, they've got the energy, the mindset. They're succeeding in what they're doing, and it seems at that point in time you can have both positive and negative momentum. The team that got scored against, they got negative momentum. They just lost some advantage. And so it's very much an emotional kind of thing in sports. Home team advantage, okay? Being able to, if you're playing hockey and you're out there on the ice and you're in your own stadium, your team is cheering for everything you do, and the minute the other team does something good, you hear boos, okay? Those are psychological forms of momentum. In network marketing, momentum comes from having activity, people engaged in activity. Now, think about this for a minute. If you're the only person in your organization that's doing anything and you go get 1 or 2 customers, you've got a 1 or 2 new consumer level of momentum. If you've got 2 or 3 distributors as part of your organization, and each one of you go and get 1 or 2 distributors now or customers, you are at a stage of momentum where you can, doing the same activity, 1 or 2 new customers, you just generated 4 or 8 new customers, new consumers. Creating momentum starts slow, add numbers, and so here's a good example. The 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 is 30. Okay, start out in your first, let's say January, your first quarter of 2018 with an objective to get 2 good distributors. Now, you're going to have to develop some customers. You're going to go through a few people that sign up to be distributors and they don't do anything. But if you keep consistent with that, you'll find a couple of those people will be serious, and they're going to continue to do the deal. Now, once you got those 2, help those two people find their two. Now, when we talk about, new distributor training, we talk about help those first two people get their first two. Well, if those are serious people, your first two, you already know they may have to go through a few distributors before they find two they're going to be serious about doing the deal. And so help them work until they get that. Now you've got 4 people on your second level that are actually committed to doing the deal. And then once you've got those 4 people, you want to help those 4 people on the second level do the same thing, get 2 real or serious distributors. What ends up happening as you start building some substance to your organization, a day's worth of activity becomes much greater than that same day's worth of activity 2 weeks earlier, a month earlier, a month before that. You're creating momentum in your business. And the way to create momentum, which is a follow-up to that question, somebody should ask that question, but here's a follow-up. How do you establish momentum? Share the product, share the opportunity, teach others to do the same. Do it consistently on a daily basis, following an effective system, invitation, presentation, validation. Okay, and all this stuff is in part of the training videos that I recommended. Now, how do you establish it? Do that. Share the product, share the opportunity, teach others to do the same. Now, once you've established some momentum, how do you sustain that momentum? Because some people are going to drop out. Same thing. Share the product, share the opportunity, teach others to do the same. Add one more new person. See, I don't worry about having a distributor drop out because I got 2 other people that I'm working with that'll take their place. Folks, you have to understand. Everybody wants to go to heaven. Nobody wants to die. Everybody says they want to be successful. Not everybody's willing to do what it takes to achieve what they desire. That's why, by the way, 80% of our country lives off of $60,000 a year or less. It's the 80-20 rule. It's just the way life is. Okay, and so I wish I had a magic way of making everybody achieve the goals they desire. I don't know how to do that. All I know how to do is what I need to do for me and my family. And so if somebody drops out, I got 2 people I'm already working with to replace them with. Okay, now how do you advance your momentum? First establish it, then sustain it, then advance it. Same thing. Share the product, share the opportunity, teach others to do the same. The ones that are coming with you, they will follow your lead. Make sure that whatever it is that you are doing is a good example for your people to follow. That's leadership. Sharon, I hope that helped. If it didn't, certainly, re-ask the question. Let's see. Thank you for the great training. Well, you're quite welcome. Other questions, folks? And listen, seriously, I appreciate the compliments, folks. I want to know that I'm doing a good job. I appreciate you saying that. It's important to me that if you take time to be here with me on this Saturday morning, that I am doing the best job that I can do to bring value to you. Okay, that's extremely important to me. So I appreciate the compliments, but right now, my ego's already pretty good. I already feel pretty good about myself. So thank you for the compliments. Don't stop them, but share, give me a question. And don't be that person that's going, well, I don't want to ask this question. I'm going to seem like I don't know anything. Fred's going to think I'm a dummy. Folks, there are no stupid questions, only silly people that didn't ask them, right? What do you think I was going to say? We'll give it another minute or two. Let's see, what else do I need to share with you? A couple of announcements I'm going to cover here. When you first started out, how many hours a day did you work? Oh, okay. Kathy, the question from Kathy is, when I first started out, how many hours a day did I work? I had a bit of an advantage, Kathy, in that I didn't have a job. I'd been retired for quite some time. I just actually spent 6 years not working. being a stay-at-home grandpa. And then several months before Zija, I'd moved, almost a year before Zija, I'd moved back home to care for my elderly mother. And so I did have responsibilities in terms of a certain amount of time devoted to, my home, my mom's care, and that sort of thing. Not at the level it is today. That was one of the advantages I did have. Today there's it's 10 years later. There's much more time that's invested in caring for mom. But it wasn't a 40-hour week. I will say probably 2 to 3 hours of intensity, okay, where I actually focused on sitting down, making the phone calls, tracking the numbers, doing the follow-up. I'm not saying that everybody should be doing that, but I will tell you, especially if you're starting from square one, what I call flat-footed going into the beginning of the year, it would be to your advantage to commit as much time as possible. I recommend to people, 10 to 15 hours a week. Okay, if you put the numbers together, that's maybe 90 minutes a day, 2 hours a day, 10 to 15 hours a week. If you can be efficient during that time, meaning 30 minutes in the morning, 30 minutes, somewhere through the day, 30 minutes in the evening, or maybe it's, 20 minutes in the morning, 20 minutes during your lunch break, and 90 minutes at night after dinner. Clear your calendar, okay? Let the family know, your loved ones, your spouse, what have you. Let them know, hey, I'm going to be doing some stuff this year. And there's a few things I'm not going to be able to do. I'm not going to be able to sit around and watch TV for 3 hours every night, okay? I'm not going to be able to, spend, the entire Saturday, barbecuing and playing and going to the beach or whatever, okay? I'm not saying major sacrifices that are going to disturb your life, but rather take some non-productive time and turn it into productive Zija time. It's more important to be consistent every day with a certain amount of time than how much time you put in. So when I started, I did have a little bit more luxury and time freedom because I could put in, an hour or two in the morning. I could put in, an hour in the afternoon, an hour in the evening, doing follow-up calls. But I'm really good at making sure if I'm working for 5 minutes, it's 5 minutes of correct activity. Talking to somebody about the product, talking to somebody about the opportunity, or teaching somebody else to do the same thing. I'm not a big time waster because I know, frankly, today, time is the one commodity I cannot buy. I can pretty much buy anything I want, okay, within reason. I'd like to have my own jet, but I'm not really at that pay grade yet where I got my own jet. So but I do fly first class, right? So, yeah, Kathy, I hope that helped. It really isn't so much a matter of what I did, but I think my part-time activities is a little bit closer to what most people have to do simply because I had other things going on. But I had a little more time flexibility in terms of when to put that time in during the day. If you need a little bit more clarification on that, I'll be happy to do that. I mean, how many hours per day in Zija? This has been very encouraging. Thank you. Okay, so yeah, in the beginning, I'd say probably 3 to 4 hours a day was what I was able to put in. However, for most people, if you can commit to 10, 12, 15 hours a week, be really good at being efficient with those hours, be consistent, do correct activities. That'll be sufficient engagement in your business to create some pretty significant results over the next 12 months of 2018. Let's see. From Rodney, what are you saying to strangers to spark interest? Okay, Rodney, the question from Rodney is, what am I saying to strangers to spark interest? A couple of things for you, Randy. First of all, especially if you're just getting started, I'm not going to encourage you to seek out strangers to share the story with. Okay, the reason we work in a warm market, people we know, is they're more likely, well, two things. One, we're more likely to know what it is that they need in their life because we know them. Okay. Number two, they're more likely to be willing to give you a few minutes to share the story because they know you. You know, whereas with a stranger, you have no idea what needs they have in their life, nor do they have any reason to want to hear your story. You're a stranger. Why would they be interested in hearing your story? They don't know you. And so, especially if you're just getting started in a business, learn how to speak to people by starting with people that you know. Okay. Now, I'm going to be real candid with you. Randy, most of the people that you know are not the ones you're looking for. Okay. For most of us entering into our first network marketing opportunity, frankly, we're already in the top 20% of our, immediate warm market simply because we're willing to do something more than our job to create something more than what most people have. That has already put us in that top 20%, 80-20 rule. Start with the people that you know. Get good at listening to whether or not there's a need for what you have. Somebody that's healthy, loves life, has all the money they want, what are you going to offer them? Now, I'm here to tell you, not everybody, I don't care who they are, I don't care how fit they are, how good looking they are, everybody would like a little bit more. Everybody would like a little bit more time freedom, everybody would like a little bit more money, everybody would like a little bit more, health and vitality, a little bit more fun. But if you're trying to sell the product to them, sell the opportunity to them, you're a salesman, and that is not going to work. Okay, actually, good, successful salespeople usually fall flat on their face in a network marketing business because they're trying to sell instead of share, and what they're doing to create success is not duplicatable. Focus more on what the other person needs. And when they express that need, then offer them an opportunity to learn how to solve that need. And at that point in time, if I have somebody say, well, I'd be interested in that, but what do you got? Now they're asking me to share the story to them. With strangers, I call that cold marketing. I don't encourage that. However, if you're the kind of person, as I am, that you're going to be standing in the grocery line or the bank line or whatever, and you strike up a conversation. Oh, weather's nice. How you doing? Blah blah blah. Kid sure is cute. How about those kings? Whatever. Then just engage, establish a relationship, listen to what they have to say. Okay, ask questions about them. If you're asking questions, so did you get everything you wanted for Christmas? You got plans for the new year? Tell me what kind of work you're involved in. If you ask questions, they're a whole lot more likely to share with you what it is they want to hear to be interested in what you want to talk about. Okay, so I don't particularly like scripts because they're not duplicatable by the masses. Randy, especially if you're new, start with people that you know. Okay, be the kind of person that if you're out in public and talking with somebody, you're more interested in them than you are in selling them your product and opportunity, and you're a whole lot more likely to find what they need to hear. I don't know, Randy, I hope that helped. If it didn't, and we're getting close to the top of the hour here, folks. I'm hoping that this explanation has been helpful. If they haven't, reach out to me. Okay, give me an opportunity to maybe fill in a little bit more. You can get all of my contact information on from my website, fredholmes.com. Everything's there. And, well, actually, my favorite color and shoe size aren't there. I was kind of kidding about that, but everything else is there. My phone, my home, my cell. Text me, send an email, whatever. Texting and calling is a little bit better than email, frankly, folks, because I get a little bombarded with email. Now let's wrap things up. And thank you for the questions. I appreciate that, and I hope that was helpful to the rest of you to hear those questions. We're going to be rolling into the beginning of the year. We have 1 week left for the cycle 4 of period 122, 121, 122. Somebody help me out. Just did a major brain fart. Can I say that? Brain fart? Major, let's see. Thank you, 22. I know 21 didn't sound right. Thank you. We have 1 week left, okay, for period 122. Now, I'm going to put the cap on the year, if you will. We've got standard, the first is Monday, so that's kind of like a day off for everybody. We go right back to the beginning of the deal Tuesday morning. You've got Health Talks with Pat on Wednesday, Biz Talks with me on Thursday. We'll have Saturday, a week from today. That's the first Saturday of the period, and it'll be the first full period for 2018. So on next Saturday, we will do, of course, new distributor training. I will participate in the Diamond Club call preceding that, and then I will come back right at 11 o'clock Pacific, do your time zone thing. And we'll have the once a month first Saturday of the period team meeting. You really want to be part of that, okay? I will be laying out the information I got from the Diamond Club call a couple hours earlier in that morning. It's going to be a very effective time for me to lay out the game plan for the next 90 days or fuel that first quarter of the year. So be part of that. And now's the time to be getting, up to speed in your communication with your team, set up your goals for the year. Be prepared to have all the things in place that you can just hit the road running, the beginning of the week. Okay. Now, I'm going to have a little bit of a break. Many of you know I'm 24/7 at home here. Twice a year I take some time, and my sister fills in for me, and I disappear to an undisclosed island location. That does not mean I'm going away for a couple of weeks. It means that I will still, we got too much happening. I'm still going to be engaged on a daily basis doing, teamwork. I'll be available for, validation calls, Zoom meetings, what have you. We're just going to have, the scheduling is going to be a little bit off because of the time zone difference and that sort of thing. I'll be there for you. I'm going to do a quick shout out to Amy McKenzie, who's going to be backing me up on some of the Biz Talks with Fred during that time frame, and maybe a couple of the Saturday morning trainings. But I will be here a week from today with the first Saturday of the month team meeting. Be there. Make sure you get that. It'll be a special, secluded island version of the first Saturday of the period. With that, folks, have a wonderful New Year's. Make it a safe and sane one. I hope you're as excited for what's about to happen for you as I am excited for what's about to happen with you. With that, thanks for joining me this morning. This will be up on the YouTube channel here shortly to pass on to your team members. And thank you, my dear. Happy New Year to you as well. And see you in a couple days. All right. Take care.